Today I'm going to talk about rhesus factors. This among the things that has caused many fetal death, and it's so unfortunate that we find that the parents don't know the reason as to why they keep losing their children, their fetus, every time before they are born. So today I saw it wise to talk about it so that at least we can help solve this problem. So for those who don't know me, I'm Mohammed Yunus, the student nurse from Amref International University. And in here, I talk about anatomy and physiology. If you're a student nurse and you feel like your anatomy has a little problem, this is the right place for you. But for today's lesson, it's general, it's for everybody. So I'm going to start with the rhesus factor. What is a rhesus factor? Rhesus factor is presence of the rhesus antigen within the red blood cells of an individual. A person with rhesus antigen is said to be rhesus positive, while a person without the rhesus antigen is said to be rhesus negative. So let's say, for example, we have our patient who is a rhesus negative patient, and he or she happens to be in need of blood transfusion. Maybe he happened to be in a accident, or he lost after a surgery, he lost a lot of blood, so we need to replace the lost blood. So the only way to do that is through blood transfusion. So we find that he is rhesus negative, and we give him a rhesus positive blood. For the first time there will be no problem, but the body will have developed a rhesus will have developed antibodies against the rhesus positive. So during the first time, during the first time of blood administration, there won't be a problem. During the subsequent period, when he or she will need blood, it will be so tragic, and it may lead to death. Why do I say that? Because here we find that the body will have developed, due to the first blood transfusion of the rhesus positive blood, we find that his body will have developed his body will have developed antibody against this rhesus positive antigen. So we find that when the body has developed antibodies, then the subsequent blood transfusion, we happen to give the patient a rhesus positive blood. Here, agglutination will occur, and agglutination is a serious condition. This blood clotting, it leads to blood clotting here, and it leads to death of many people, and it's so tragic. So in pregnant women, here what happens, let's say for example a mother is rhesus negative and she happens to be carrying a baby who is rhesus positive. How does this happen? How does a rhesus negative mother happens to carry a rhesus positive baby? This happens when the father of the child is a rhesus positive. During the first pregnancy there won't be a problem. This because the mother's body will not have developed enough antibodies to fight the fetus. So you find that if it's her first pregnancy, she'll deliver well and there won't be any complications. Here's where the problem comes in. During the subsequent pregnancy, here we find that the mother's body has developed antibodies against the rhesus antigen. How did it develop the antibodies? During the pregnancy, during the first pregnancy, we find that in the later stages of the first pregnancy, the rhesus antigen in the fetus may have crossed to the mother's body, and this made the mother's body to produce antibodies. So during the next pregnancy, we find that if the father is still a rhesus positive, and here we find that the mother's body has developed antibodies against the rhesus positive antigen. So here the antibody will fight the fetus, because the mother's body will think that the pregnancy is a foreign substance, and that's what antibodies do. Antibodies fight foreign substances in our body. So the mother's body will fight the fetus, and this leads to the fetal death. And not all that, it may lead to fetal death if not corrected early. So we find that, yeah, it can be corrected, and the only way of correcting is that the baby, there will be a complete change of the blood of the baby. So when this baby is born, let's say the baby is born, the baby happened to come out, you find that this baby will be yellowish, the baby will be jaundiced, the eyes are jaundiced. This because the red blood cells of the baby, they were destroyed. So the only way to save the baby is through changing the blood of the baby, changing the red blood cells, giving the baby new blood, and that's the only way you can save this baby. So what I can advise you guys to do, for the married couples, make sure you know your status. Know if your husband is a Rhesus positive, if you're a mother, know if you're a Rhesus positive or Rhesus negative, so that you might not fall a victim of losing your babies and you don't understand the reason as to why you had your first pregnancy very well, but the subsequent one you're having a problem, you're losing your babies. So if you found the video to be interesting, make sure you like the video and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so anytime I upload my videos, you catch up with me. So that's all for today. See you in my next video.